Try that one.
Was that really you saying my name?
Ready?
My name's easier to say weird than yours.
I know. Lots of tongue action going on today.
Yeah, I'm good with some tongue action.
Yeah, she clearly is.
Apparently.
Getting her tongue around all those words.
I'm good with tongue action.
Apparently.
See? Okay.
Well, today, I'm excited. We just paused today.
I know. We haven't done it in a while. And you know what? We're better just
COG.
Oh, wait a minute. We got to hold it like
that's
this.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to start with your wine today, Kelly?
Yeah. Except, oh, wait. I should have done my cheers. I told you I was going to do a cheers. Okay. So I have some, two lovely traditional Irish toasts that I've learned from my dad. And I, bring them out from time to time. Here's to you and here's to me. The best of friends will always be.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Oh, boy.
If we'll somehow cease to be, piss on you and here's to me.
All right. I'll take it. Oh. I'm really excited for today. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Okay. Tell me about your wine, Kelly.
This is one of my favorite Malbecs. Not the favorite, but this is probably my second favorite.
Okay.
It's called, I love this label. I just got very sultry.
Let me tell you all about.
Well, it's appropriate. This label is sexy. Here.
It is really sexy.
It's called Tall, Dark Stranger. And it kind of goes with our book. There is a tall, dark stranger. Mm-hmm. Well, he starts out as a stranger, but then, whatever. Limited production. It is, of course, from Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah. Tall, dark stranger. It's sexy. It's awesome. It's decadent.
Decadent. That's a new one for you.
It is.
Decadent.
I haven't said that on here yet.
No.
Oh. Apparently the company is talldarkwines.com.
Mm. Hi, talldarkwines.com.
Yeah. Ooh, are you ready to meet your total dream wine?
Mm.
Rich and deeply satisfying. This is sexy for sure. It is rich and deeply satisfying. Sip it with something or someone delicious.
Guess who's you're sipping it with? A delicious penny.
Yeah.
Okay, do your test.
So I have to look at the color first.
Yeah, what's the color?
Oh, it's beautiful. There is a little bit of a lightness on the edge.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
The color, it's blood with a little light through it.
Mm-hmm. I like my blood colors. That's probably why I like Malbec. Gonna do that.
Swirly, swirly, swirly. 2 fingers.
Yeah. Ooh, look at those legs.
Those are some nice legs.
Mm-hmm. I love a wine with sexy legs.
Legs are looking everywhere.
Ooh.
Damn. Okay, smell.
It's very chocolatey. Maybe. I already know I love it, and I'm just like...
I'm watching you so intently.
I know.
It's different though when you do this taste test, because instead of when I just drink it, I just swallow it and I don't take it all in. But when we stop for a second and have a meditation moment on our wine, you can taste everything.
It's like, maybe a little tobacco. Spice.
Ooh, okay, let me do the test.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Okay, so 2 fingers. This is why we have a couch. Oh, I can smell the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I don't think I've ever smelled plum, so I don't know.
Oh, that's what it is. It's so...
Ooh, where did you taste it? That's exactly where I tasted it. I don't taste anything on my tongue, and I don't taste anything in the back of my throat.
I got a little bit back here, but it's mostly in the cheeks.
That's good wine. You did it good.
Well, I love it. I knew what it was when I bought it. I love this one. Oh my God. This is a hearty swallow.
This is like multiple time a swallow.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that one episode we talked about milking? Would you milk this one?
Yeah. I'm going to milk it for all it's worth.
Mine is Ménage à Trois. It's a sweet collection. It's a Moscato, a sweet blend. Pineapple, honey, and peach. I do actually.
Wait a minute. Don't
Okay,
do that. You're supposed to do all your things.
I know. I'm just impressed because I think.
Oh, do you want me to show the label?
Oh yeah, I mean, everybody knows what
Menage a
trois means or is means. Well, I obviously got it because of the book today. There are 3 people involved in this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
3 people involved in this book.
There is. It's a Moscato, which isn't my favorite, but this is not bad. Like, at the first couple of tastes, I was like, whoa, it's sweet. But it's pretty good. But let's see what it says. I'm not going to do the whole thing like Kelly does because she's better than me. It's a sweet wine.
It's probably not as sexy as my description.
No. Sweet wine bursting with ripe peach and bright tropical fruit flavors, which I can definitely see in that. Oh, and then it has it in French.
Ooh. The whole thing is in French?
No, like they write it in French and then they write it in English and then they write it in French. But it's from California. Posers. So, okay, let me do my whole thing here.
I'll listen in French.
Okay. And it's a little fizzy too, which is kind of fun. I haven't had a fizzy one in a while.
It is like all in French.
Okay.
Déjeuner.
Oh, I have to look at the color.
De un dolce esplendor con menage a trois Moscato.
All right, well, I see the bubbles in it. This, I don't know. This is actually different than the other white wines because the other white ones you could see like straight through and I could see the stuff behind it. But this one is like
a little cloudier.
Yeah, and one not cloudier. I don't know, like disorients the light. Look at me in my big words. Okay, now I'll smell it. Oh, you can definitely smell the peach and the pineapple in this. Yeah, you can smell it all. Wait, hold on. I'm going to do my taste test. And then you can have it.
Oh, that's right. Your mouthwash.
Ooh, this is a hard one.
You're a hard one.
I get things hard. Ooh.
Did you do your legs and whatever?
I don't have legs.
Oh, you do not.
It's too sweet.
That's definitely very heavy on the honey.
I smell peach right away.
Well, I didn't put my mouth in there.
I wasn't going to say it.
Oh, yeah, pineapple and yeah. It's got all the things that it describes. Good job.
It really does.
Good job, descriptors.
Good job. I call you a poser, but good job. There's a way to taste wine where you sip it and then you breathe in the air with it. And that's supposed to be like the... Okay, I'm going to try it.
Look at you. That's good.
Ooh. You taste it differently. Try doing that.
Okay.
I taste it on the roof of my mouth. The roof of my mouth when I did that. Go you!
There's a lot more pineapple flavor.
And it's right at the top. That's really cool.
I thought I had too big of a sip to be able to do that. I thought it was all going to fall out of my mouth. I got to work at keeping things in my mouth.
She does have a hard time with that.
Not really.
She's gonna go anywhere against her capabilities.
Yeah.
I wonder if we really did that with a blowjob. If we start swishing it around our mouths.
Well, how can you swish a dick in your mouth?
No, when they come.
Oh.
And you just go. Like, what I could do is that was
like.
I don't know if I would sip or swallow that. Or sip or swallow. I guess I would sip it. I probably would gulp it. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like I would love this in the summer. Here I'm like, man, it's too happy to be in the. It's a happy wine. Don't you like when you got
the Yeah. It is a very summery wine.
On the beach with sand in your crotch. This would be a great wine.
Well, that would not make you happy if you've got sand in your crotch.
If you have sand in your crotch and you're drinking this wine, you would be okay with life. You would be like,
You'd be like, I don't care about my sand in my vagina.
Yeah, I'm drinking this wine. The whole new experience with wine.
A whole new world.
It is a whole. It is a whole way. It's a whole new world for my mouth experience.
It's an Aladdin wine. Now just think of Aladdin and you're like, good job.
Oh, I'll be like, down it all. Yeah. This is good. Are you ready? So it's seasonal swallowing. Seasonal swallowing. All right, Kelly, you ready? Let's just jump right into the book.
Okay. Will you pour my wine for me?
Oh, I would be honored to.
Yay.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Twist that.
Look at me. I'm like a professional
Look
wine
at you
swirler.
go.
There's drips everywhere. This week we read Salt Kiss.
Sierra Simone.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
I love her.
There was so many firsts for me in this book. I felt like a Salt Kiss virgin. Like,
this was your first foray into Sierra Simone.
It was so good.
She's such a great writer.
Oh my God. It was so good. It was from a guy's point of view the whole way through, which I don't think I've ever read. It's always been like, if there is a guy's point of view, it's gone like back and forth.
Yeah. She's so good at dirty.
Oh my gosh. There was some stuff in here that I was like, if someone told me about this, I would be like, ugh. But then I'm reading it and I'm like, holy shit, this is hot. Yeah. Oh, it was so good.
It's so
good. Yeah. So
I love her.
A little bit of the overview if you're thinking of reading it.
I kept wanting to call it Saltburn.
Oh, because it is.
There's parts that are kind of like Saltburn. The obsessiveness, for sure.
So it's about this guy.
And two dudes, you know.
Yeah, it is. It's two dudes. Tristan. Too much wine already. Tristan. He is back from the military and he is one thing.
He's hot.
He is hot. He's so hot and so macho. And then he meets.
He's also pretty. Like he's
like, a pretty macho.
I know. It's such a good dichotomy.
It is. It was crazy. So he ends up being a bodyguard for his step uncle in law, and the step uncle in law owns the sex club, a very famous sex club, like top tier, as Kelly would say. Top tier sex club. Found out lots, and I had to Google a lot reading this. Like,
and I also love the legend behind why it's called Lioness.
Of course. All right, we'll let you have your
King Arthur legend
moment.
And yeah. Well, I'm not going to go into it, but I also love how she put in the King Arthur legend, and she also she must have a very Catholic background.
Did she write Priest too?
Yeah, she wrote the Priest series, which is all about struggling with Catholicism, and there's a lot of Catholic references in here as well, and Catholic lore, which really Catholic lore, there's a lot of dark, creepy, whatever, theological mythology is really cool.
It is cool. Well, so he starts working for Mark, the owner. Learn about vacuum beds. Had to Google that one. Do you know what that is, Kelly?
It's just a reference, one sentence reference.
But I was like,
but it was still what is that? And I didn't know about it until this.
I felt very smart when I was like, let me tell you what a vacuum bed is, Kelly.
It's because she Googled it from the book.
A vacuum bed is where you lay almost like on a bed, but it has latex over you and has a little hole where necessary parts are for, and then it sucks all the air out. So you're just
after you described it, I had seen that.
Really?
Not in real life. I'd seen it in
porn.
In movies. I suppose
I cannot imagine your porn search history.
I'd seen it in things, but I didn't know that's what it was called.
I'm sure you have seen it in a lot.
I didn't know that's what it was called. It's interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah. There was so many things that I was like,
but there's one hole for your orifice.
Here we go. Drinking in Kelly's fancy words again.
Hey, there's so many big words in this book.
There are.
I appreciate her vocabulary.
She is a great writer. So anyway, he starts to be his bodyguard. And he, military macho man starts.
He's also a virgin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of like it just never happened.
Right. Because he went to school, prom king, went into military.
And he just sort of falls clumsily in love right away, and people kind of get turned off by that.
Yeah, so he's a quick fall-in lover. But we're going to use it. Well, so anyway, he really starts to really like Mark because he's so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't like him at that point?
Mark's very much a dom.
Yes, very. And that was another new thing for me. So normal, the books that I have read, when they have a dominant, normally they're pleasure doms. but this was not a pleasure dom. So it was so not only was it from a male's point of view, a male and male, and it was not a pleasure dom. So there was so many differences, but it was so good.
Yeah, and I also like that both the guys in this are bi.
Yes.
Or maybe even pan. Like they just sort of kind of like Katie Roberts books, like they all just have like varying degrees of sexuality and everything is just like normal and like you like what you like and hey, cool.
Like the gay sex in here was hot.
Oh my God, it was so hot.
I was not expecting that. I want to read this whole series after reading this book.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It might just be 2 books.
It's a trilogy.
Oh, it is? Oh, the Lioness trilogy. Okay.
I know. Maybe all smart and knowledgeable. So anyway,
I know we're going off on tangents.
We are. So
what happens?
They finally get together after some like I love you, you don't want to be with me.
There's some sexual tension. There's a lot of sexual tension.
But it's hot. It is
I didn't say it wasn't.
Oh my gosh. It was good stuff.
Tristan falls in love with Mark, predictably, because he says, I fall fast and I fall hard.
He does fall in love. And then he has to travel to Ireland to pick up his fiancé, Mark's fiancé, and then travel back on a boat with her for 3 weeks.
It's a boat is an understatement.
Yeah. Oh my! Wait till we get to the description of this boat. It has a basketball court in it. It has a spa. So
you're describing it already.
I almost. It's like more of like a.
It's like a cruise ship.
It really is for like one person.
But there's just 2 of them on there.
It's insane. Insane. So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. There's a lot of cool different terms in here that I was like, ooh, what is that? Ooh,
I could only imagine your Google search history.
Oh, it was insane. And there was like some stuff at the beginning that he talked about with his medals and stuff, like the metal leaf or something. Oh, I can't find it.
Like army stuff?
Yeah, army stuff. And I actually had to ask some people that I know that were in the army and military if they knew what that meant because Google did not give a great description of it. It's very informative on many levels of information. This is one to read. Yeah. So please, if you have not read this, please pause and come back because it's good. Yeah. It's really good. It's spicy. We'll jump right into those scenes. All right. So, if you have not read this book,
please pause and come back.
Yeah. And if you have, and you just or you don't have time to read it,
or you can just get all hot and sweaty with us.
It is hot and sweaty.
Oh man, yeah, like tingly palms just thinking about it. Like I remember way back. I was talking, like in high school, I was talking to a friend of mine and I was like, what is it about 2 chicks together that dudes find so hot, you know? And he's trying to like explain it to me. And I was like, but if they're lesbians, they don't care about you. So why are you so turned on? And he's like, I don't know. I can't describe it. It's just awesome to see them together. And I was like, I don't know if I would have that feeling about watching 2 dudes because I know that they're just into each other and they don't have anything to do with me. I don't see it. And then, yeah,
there was sword fighting in this, like real, legit sword fighting. They came all over each other from sword fighting.
Well, that's not 2 dudes, though.
Yeah, it was sword fighting. Isn't it when they're like their penises are like?
Oh, you mean sword crossing?
Sword, whatever.
Sword crossing. Usually, they talk about that. Usually, when it's like a threesome or something with a chick too.
Yeah, there was no chick in it, but their swords were definitely slamming into each other.
Like I was like, oh, I get it. It is so fucking hot. There was another book we read where there was 2 dudes, and we were like, this is just cheesy. But it is like there are, and I've seen some videos.
Obviously, because she knows a lot of vacuum beds that she's seen. She just doesn't know what they are.
I didn't know the term for it.
She just seen
anyway. I've seen some porn.
Kelly watches a lot of porn.
Hey.
So we really are getting back on track. If you have not listened to this book, please pause and come back. Lots of sword crossing.
Lots of all the things.
Without the vagina. Well, there is vagina in there. There's everything in
there. There's so many things in there. It's so good.
It's so good. I want to read the next one. It's going to be hard.
And
and
it ends on a cliffhanger.
It does. Like I was actually mad on the last line. She's a great writer. All right. Jumping in. So we're gonna get into some hot and spicy stuff. So Tristan. So Tristan and Mark, they're working together. Everything's going
and
great.
He's like, this is like a 24/7 situation, like full on bodyguard.
Tristan go to Singapore.
They go to Singapore on an excursion. And that's when like Mark had like heard inklings and learned that his old bodyguard was a bodyguard with benefits. Yeah. And then he's like, he's going to like present himself as like
because he like the submissive.
Yeah. And so he's like, I'll do this for you. That's where he decides he's going to say, I will do this for you as well.
Yep. And Mark's like, nope, can't do it. So heartbroken, sad.
Because the way that Tristan presents it to him is he says, I think you need this. I think this is good for you. And Mark says no, because he says it needs to be good for you as well. And that's really important.
Consent.
Yes. It can't just be, especially in this type of relationship, it can't just be one thing for one person. It needs to be done.
Yeah.
It needs to be what the other person wants as well.
All about consent.
Both parties.
Yep.
Both parties getting what they need and want.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So they end up going to England, and it's just Tristan and Mark. So they get there, and Mark just goes into, doesn't say anything, and just goes to the library and closes the door and
like drowns himself in his sorrows.
That's it. Like, so Tristan's like, I don't know what to do. Tristan is really worried about Mark because he's like obviously grieving somebody. So he finally builds up the strength to walk into the library and talk to Mark about like if he's okay. He hasn't seen him eat anything since they've been there. It's been a few days. Like what's going on? Tristan's like, do you want me to leave?
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to, but you probably should. And Tristan's like, no, I want to stay.
Yeah. And he's like, what do you want?
So then Tristan falls down on his knees right in front of Mark. And he says, I want to help you. And then Mark says, you can't.
They both have the same voice.
Because they're both male.
Yeah, but they have different man voices.
Let me see if I could do this. Okay.
The narration gave Mark oh, God. This narrator. Whoo.
He was good.
Oscar raised.
So then, after he was like, you can't.
You can't.
That was not dramatic.
Wait, dramatic. See, because you look at me and then
he'll be like,
I can't be serious. That's what
like,
he's not like that.
No, he's begging for it.
I can't be serious when you do that. You're so cute.
I didn't try it.
You can't.
So bad. Well, he changes his mind and shoves his cock right in his mouth.
He's just like, he puts up a fight for 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, it was like, oh no.
Oh, you can't.
Oh, well.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
There we go.
Yep. So, I mean, it worked. He got that
worked.
Cock right in his mouth. Kelly likes to say cock.
I do. Hey.
Should we call it like a medical term? A penis. She likes to have a penis.
She used every single term possible.
She did.
For dick in here.
It was good.
Yeah.
Then, after he shoves it right in,
he shoves it in there.
A little break, he says, I want you. Wait, he's more like, I want you. That was a good Tristan voice.
You don't know what you're talking about.
That was not dramatic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm all like, I'm shoving my dick in your face, right?
It's like right here.
You don't know what you're talking
about. Okay. We'll take it.
And then
he comes. Tells him to swallow it.
Oh, yeah. He's a swallow. And he puts his hand on his throat.
To feel it.
And feels him swallowing.
Tristan did a great job for his first blowjob.
Yeah.
Like a really good job.
He did.
Like, I was impressed. But you know what? Guess what Mark has? A really big penis.
Oh, I was like, he has a lot of things.
Have you ever read a book where they're like, it was a mediocre penis?
No, I don't think anybody writes about that.
I think we should. Just for fun one. Maybe
or like he's average size.
Yeah, an average size penis was inserted into my mouth.
I love the word insert.
It's because it bothered you so much. Or maybe I should write about a micro penis. Like, they should.
Should.
Sierra Simone would probably make it sound so fucking hot if she wrote about a micro penis.
Yeah, they're always like super huge dicks, you know?
Yeah, they're always like, and then I realized how much I didn't have in my mouth.
Well, they don't always say that. That's what she said about it.
Half the time.
But they're always like, oh my God, I can't, he stretched me so full, or like, whatever. They're always so incredibly huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but it would be interesting to see if someone can make a micro penis sound hot.
Yeah, because could you imagine just being like,
oh micro penis.
Or just like, he took his pants down, and then I was like, huh.
And then it was kind of there. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Oh, there it is.
I mean, if you aim it just right.
You gotta kind of
a little bit.
And then they gotta be creative with what they do.
Yeah.
And to make it be awesome.
A good book. I hope somebody writes about a micro penis.
Instead of just having a big fucking dick
all the time. Let's do the opposite. This is a challenge for authors. Try to make a micro penis sound hot.
Not mocking.
No, make it sound super sexy. Anyways, he doesn't have a micro penis. He has a big honker.
He has a giant dick.
He does. So poor Tristan is very hard and just aching.
He's just like, can't even. Poor dude.
Yeah.
He's just like constantly hard the entire time.
Anyways, so then Mark is ready for round 2, and he bends Tristan right over the desk that they have. And he's trying to stretch out his anus. What's a sexy word that you would like to use instead of anus?
It's hard for... She used a lot of good words.
She did.
Like pleated hole.
We'll come up with
them. She used a lot of words writing a book.
Good job.
She had so many good words, and I was like, wow, these are so much better than just like my puckered hole like people usually use.
She didn't even say once bundle of nerves.
I know she didn't.
I was looking for that. Anyways, so he's stretching him out, trying to get him prepped and ready. And Tristan was like, hey, Mark, by the way, I'm a virgin. And Mark is like, cool.
Yeah, he was kind of like the usual, like, surprise, like, how is that possible? He does the degradation and the praise. And she writes that also super well.
Yeah, so the degradation.
Degradation.
She explains that really well because she talked about Tristan's point of view, and he was saying that, and I never thought of it this way. I never kind of understood being turned on by somebody calling you mean names and being super mean to you. I couldn't understand that. But then when he was talking about it, he was like, when you're at your lowest and you feel just like disgusting and useless and like the bottom of the bottom, somebody still loves you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. And somebody still wants you. I was like, I would have never thought to see it that way. It was very interesting.
Yeah. She does such a great job of it, and that the praise comes after that as well.
Yes.
So it's not just like, some people just have a straight up praise kink. And that's, obviously everything, your kinks, whatever your kinks are, fine, great.
Kinky.
And some people just have that, but the degradation also comes with the praise kink after too.
Yeah, she did a good job. It was very, sounds so dorky, but it was like enlightening to see somebody else's point of view. Dorky. Like, it was interesting to see how somebody else thought of things that I would have looked at and been like, what? But it was interesting to see. It definitely changed my opinion on like that.
Well, because if you don't have anything of that, and it's not just like always, like, I think some people think of degradation as like you said, being called like,
well, being mean, calling
being
names.
mean.
Yeah.
But like, it's also just like, oh, you're my pretty little slut or whatever. Or like, you like being a whore for daddy, or not daddy. You like being a whore.
It wouldn't be like a mix though, like a praise and like, that sounds like a mix.
Right. And sometimes that is, but also that's like sort of like a degradation too. Like, I think sometimes people think degradation and they think like completely one way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Like, you like being my like whore or whatever, or like, that's a little bit of degradation also.
Yeah, it was very it was interesting to see somebody's like view on it that was into that. It was interesting. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
So then So after that, Tristan, so he's bending him over, stretching him out, says he's not a virgin, and then
says he is.
Oh, he is a virgin. He is a virgin. And then, so, Tristan goes to touch himself because he's so painfully hard and like nothing. There's no contact on anything. And Mark shuts that down pretty quick. I was like,
slaps him.
Yep.
He's like, nope.
Gotta earn it. So then he pulls out a handy dandy ruler.
Yeah. He's like, I need to find something.
Yep. And so he pulls it out and he makes some nice cutie marks right on his thighs.
He makes ladder. He ladders up from his knee up.
They're cutie marks. Like from My Little Pony.
Well, no. Cutie mark is just on the hip. He ladders. It's called a ladder.
Oh.
Because he stripes him from his knees up his thighs to his butt.
Oh, I was thinking it was more of a cutie mark, but
No.
we can call it a ladder. That isn't as sexy.
It's called a ladder. That's an actual, like, and she even says that in here. It's a ladder.
Have you ever had a ladder done? You don't have to answer that if you're not comfortable. You have? Tell me everything, Kelly. Anyways,
so
cut that out.
It's called a ladder.
Can it be called a handy dandy ruler ladder?
Are you a Blue's Clues?
Handy dandy ruler ladder.
Handy dandy notebook. And then he noticed when he got up, like right at that part, like where his ass meets his thighs, and like where it would be right where his like his scrot would be right there. Like that was where it was like super tender with him, and he made like extra. That was where it was like super sensitive to him. Anyway, it's called a ladder, and that's what he did with him.
Yeah, that's great. And then Mark says,
"This, hold on,
here she goes.
This won't be easy."
And then grabs him by the neck and he throws him on the carpet.
Yeah.
Like, rough. Ooh, did you hear my little?
Yeah. And Tristan's all for it.
Oh yeah, he's loving it.
He was like, that's when he was like, this suddenly feels right.
So they're on the carpet, and poor Tristan, his penis is getting carpet burn all over it.
But he loves it.
But he loves it. I mean, good for him. Poor little dick. Poor little Tristan's dick is all sore and
it's not
swollen.
little, I don't think.
They never mention his size in here. They mention Mark's, but they don't mention Tristan's.
This is all from his point of view.
Maybe Tristan has a micro penis.
No, because she doesn't seem too upset about it.
Maybe she likes micro penises.
I think it's pretty good.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out in the next book. So
anyway,
so then Mark ends up crawling on top of him.
He's got his hand underneath him with his hand like on his stomach. It's like all so hot, and he bites his shoulder. Like, it's so fucking hot.
Sexy.
It
was good. So Mark is fucking him. Tristan comes all over the carpet. So it was cute because he was really worried about the stain in the carpet.
That was really cute. Yeah. He's like, I ruined your carpet, or I stained your carpet. And Mark's like, it will be my favorite stain. He did a bit of aftercare there.
He did.
And then
you got him a glass of water.
Yeah. And then he noticed Tristan noticed that Mark was still like super hard. And so he was like, is there more?
So he makes Tristan crawl to his room, and like on the way they just stop and fuck on the way. Like every 20 feet. They're just
he's like,
stopping.
I can't fucking like let you go 20 feet without having to fuck you.
Yeah. It was so hot. So they have a lot of good sex. So we have Keith that is going to read for us the very sexy scene that comes up. Oh yeah, so hot. Yeah, like I try to find the most. I'm so mean. I try to find the most uncomfortable thing to read in the whole entire book.
Super dirtiest part.
Yeah, just to see how someone can handle it.
I was like, "Will you read this? It's dirty." And of course, Keith was like, "Yep."
Such an exquisite
because he's the best.
He murmurs.
He's awesome.
He doesn't
I
move the
really
way I
appreciate
think
it.
he will.
So we're gonna let him.
He's turned to straddle
read.
me, facing my
So
feet.
it starts out with Mark saying,
"You can touch me now, just for now," he says, like it's the utmost kindness he can bestow. And then he lowers himself over my face. My hands go instinctively to his hips, just as I realize what he wants. A shiver rips through me. I've never done this. I manage on an exhale. "I know you haven't," he says. "Just let me have your mouth, and I'll do all the rest. And that's all he says before he's sitting fully on my face. He still smells like a shower, soapy and fresh, and when I open my mouth and kiss gently the delicate muscled ring of his opening, I taste a hint of soap too. Above me he makes a satisfied grunt, and I can feel when he takes himself in hand and starts masturbating. I kiss his entrance again, giving him my tongue as he told me to, and I'm rewarded with another grunted exhale. When I slide my hands from his warm hips to his hard thighs, I feel goosebumps all the way to his knees. Each shuttle of his fist on his length I feel in my own body. My erection is bone-achingly jealous. It bobs against my stomach as I start swirling my tongue on Mark's skin. Pre-cum leaks from my tip, and it starts wetting my stomach, and it hurts being turned on again after being edged so mercilessly earlier, after the carpet. But the pain feels so strangely good, like the soreness after a long workout, earned and satisfying. He likes when I push my tongue inside him, or when I hold it flat for him to rock against, and I find it's all unbearably arousing, having him over me, his thighs caging my face, the firm curve of his ass pressed against me, the goosebumps betraying his pleasure, the unfairly easy way I can get this fierce man to buckle and grunt with just an indecent flutter of my tongue. And then he's letting me touch him, freely, constantly, and I can't get enough. My hands are roaming everywhere, the slim lines of his hips to his ridged stomach, to the hard wings of his shoulder blades. His thighs obsess me the most. The muscles shifting under my palms as he rocks over me, the crisp hair, the grace of them. It's like stroking the flanks of a predatory cat or a wild horse. Powerful, beautiful, and deadly. He comes fast and hard, riding my mouth, his hand jerking a merciless orgasm from his length. It lands mostly on my belly, but some of it streaks across my own erection, and I can barely think. My breath and my body are wound so tight. I could come from the feeling of his semen on my skin, on my cock, hot and thick and wet. He lifts from my mouth. A large hand wraps around my rigid length, and it only takes 3 strokes, lubricated by his own cum, and I'm gasping, twisting, trying to fuck my hips up into his hand as I throb out an agonizing climax. Pulse after pulse, tingles tracing from the soles of my feet to my fingertips, static, bright, and fuzzy at the edges of my vision. He doesn't give me any quarter, jerking me through it all, not stopping till he's satisfied I'm finished, drained.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Who would have thought that
just
licking
like-
a butthole could be written like that?
so fucking hot. Like, just
So moving on from butthole licking,
rim job.
the rim job.
Rim job.
Yes. We go to the club, bang bang. So
My baby shot.
yeah. So they're still having sex all the time. They're loving life.
It's great.
Yeah, they're just banging everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's an open house at the club.
Yeah.
So they're at the open house. They each guest
There's
that's
tons
there.
of people there.
Yeah, they can bring 3 guests or something. So they're all having a great time, having sex and doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the dance floor, pew pew,
Bang, bang.
bang, bang, door, baby. This is a perfect song. It is a love shack. This is perfect.
It is. Yeah, so they need to evacuate like thousands of people.
A lot.
And Tristan obviously is like, I need to protect you, Mark. Mr. Javette. I love how he always calls him sir. It's great. It's double layered because he's, his military thing, but also he says Dom. So he's like, sir. And it's a very like, sir,
Then he's like throwing his body over Mark to protect him, which, I mean, I would be okay with that too.
Who would be mad about it?
Yeah, I would be like, oh no, don't protect me. So then they find out that there's someone in the basement where they keep all their secret information.
Yes. Because this club deals in, like, if you want to be a member, not money, but you have to pay with like super sensitive information, secrets, like government top notch, like classified information, hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
So they see two people trying to break into the server room.
Yep. So he goes, Tristan, go down to the basement, take care of it.
Yeah.
And Tristan's like, I can't leave you, sir.
I don't think he's being that, like, he's being like bodyguard type. I mean, he says that, but it's being in like bodyguard. Like, it's not like wounded lover.
It's like a little bit in there. It's in there.
It is.
It depends on how you want to read it. If you want to read it as a wounded lover, you can. If you want to read it, it's like, I can't leave you because I'm a bodyguard. Then you can read it.
He definitely wants it. He's in bodyguard mode at this time. Like, he needs to protect him. He's the asset. Protect the asset at all costs. Asset. Yeah. So he doesn't, he's really reluctant to leave him. And then like, this is one of the like funny interjections. I love that he's like really pissed off and he's like, listen, I'm also like trained in combat. Like, I know how to fucking protect myself. And he's like, they can't spare anybody else. So Tristan goes off and he's like really pissed about it. And then Mark, like in the earpiece, is like, I can fucking hear your thoughts from here. like shut up and just go. And that was kind of funny. Like, I love their little like funny.
There was a lot of going back and forth between them.
So he goes downstairs.
Like James Bond, like
do.
Yeah. So he has his gun and he's all like, you know, doing the cool moves. Yeah, like Secret Service.
And he knows where like the pressure plates are and stuff. But then he also thinks it's weird because these people seem to know where the pressure plates are.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
It was super weird. Well, he goes in and he's like spinning around and shooting and like
super rad. And he like takes these two people out, kills them.
Like boom, done. Oh, it was so cool. It was badass.
Yeah, it was badass.
It was a cool moment.
But then he noticed this seems like super suspicious because he's like, I don't think they're really here for the servers. And then he's going back upstairs and
he hears in the headphones
that.
I feel like this is the test.
That's what you usually
and
do
then
to
what
me.
happens in the book?
That's what you do to me because you have your little papers and then you say to me, and I'm like, I don't know what's on your notes. I don't know what you want me to say.
You probably have the whole book memorized.
I do.
So he's going upstairs, and in the earpiece, they say that there's like at least 7 or 8 more guys that are coming in and attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's freaking out. He's like, Mark.
And there's more shooting. So like they find out that the first shooting was a deception for them to look down to the servers, which was another deception for the real attack.
So many layers.
Deception on a deception. It was, they got inceptioned.
And then, so he goes upstairs and he sees Mark and he's fighting, but really shitty fighting.
Well,
Yeah, like bad.
I feel like not that he was just drunk. I feel like he might have been drugged.
Or something's going on
Yeah.
where he didn't know how to fight. And,
Yeah.
and I think it like made Tristan hesitate. Like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he makes it over to Mark, but not in time.
Mhm.
So a knife comes out, stabs Mark in the shoulder.
Yeah. Tristan thinks it's his chest. He thinks he's like
Dead. So then
Dead,
Tristan
dead,
shoots
dead,
the guy
dead.
right in the head. Pew pew! So he's like, no! He like
It's
falls
like-
to his knees. It's dramatic.
It is like a guttural, like heart-wrenching scream that comes
It's
out of
that
him.
like, your base, like
Yeah.
human instinct
Mm-hmm.
scream.
Yeah. Mhm.
I heard it in my head. How she
Mhm.
described it, you could hear the
You can hear it in your head. Yeah.
Ooh, it's intense.
Mhm.
But he lives. He's fine.
Yeah. It ended
He
up in
lives to
his
fuck
shoulder.
another day.
His doctor is fucking great.
I like his doctor.
Mm-hmm. Doctor says he needs to rest.
But that doesn't mean no blowjobs. Technically.
No blowjobs from Tristan.
Tristan finds out that Mark is actually engaged to somebody in Ireland.
Yeah, he's obviously like upset that Mark never mentioned his fiance to him, and Mark is kind of like, "How did you not know? It's been all over the papers. It's been in the works for 4 years. Like,
Right. So they break it off, but Mark is like, please still work for me. And
Mhm.
Tristan's like, okay.
Okay, because I'll do whatever you ask because he's hopelessly in love with him.
Oh, it's bad. He has it bad. And so he's like, okay, well, guess what? You're going to go to Ireland and pick up this girl and bring her back on my fancy yacht. It's going to be like a 3-week thing. I can't go because my shoulder.
The doctor told me I can't fucking do it. And so I'm flying to Ireland.
Evil. So he goes to Ireland. He's all mad. He's like puffing and puffing the whole way. And then she opens the door.
The way...
I know, I marked it.
Oh my God, the way it's described, her beauty is like, it's so poetic. It's amazing.
Do you want to read some of it?
Sure.
It's not only that she's beautiful. I've seen beautiful people before. I've witnessed symmetrical features, statistically average distances between the eyes, nose, and mouth. I've beheld bright eyes and ruddy lips. Those are common and everywhere. But this, Isolde Lawrence, seeing her, it's like the first time I helped birth a calf and it blinked up at me with giant black eyes while its mother licked it clean. Like coming home from my first deployment to see the blown roses crawling up the side of the farmhouse, stupidly soft and oblivious to everything but the summer sun. Like the Carpathian forest, snowy and frozen and still, sparkling under a pink sunrise, breathless and beautiful when everything else was scarred with the tire tracks and hand-dug graves. It's very beautiful. She's a beautiful writer.
So they end up getting on the boat, the yacht, the mansion on the water.
It's ridiculous. Basketball court, a whole like sparring arena.
Gosh. A restaurant?
A straight up restaurant, a library, a pool.
Well, there was like 2 pools.
2 pools.
3 hot tubs.
A spa. Like, it's got everything you could like possibly think of and more.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just, they're the only 2 passengers.
Yep.
And then a fully stocked crew.
So then they're traveling back. And then she has this combat, like exercise training that she does. So she has this own room that Mark created for her where it has weapons and all kinds of stuff where she can practice her martial arts and combat training. And so she asked Tristan if he would go against her as a partner for her to practice. And he's like hesitant because he's like, it's a girl, I don't want to hurt her, and da-da-da. But then he decides to do it.
She's like, I can see your nobility, whatever. Put it aside. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. They start fighting, and they fight. He ends up like falling on top of her. Of course. It's like a movie moment.
It's like always, like whenever they're sparring in a book, you're like, you know that somebody's going to fall on somebody else and he's going to be hard and it's going to be great. And then they're going to make out and it'll be awesome.
Don't give everything away yet.
Well, I mean, that happens in every book where there's sparring.
So.
It does. It's still awesome.
They stare in each other's eyes. They have a moment. But then she flips him over. So he's on his back and she's straddling him. But when she's straddling him, she feels he has a little guest that popped. Because I'm just going to think he has a micro penis in this one.
I don't think he does because she could fully feel it.
She could, but who knows how sensitive she is. So she starts to rock against him. And he's okay.
It just goes.
So it's going and going. And then he's seeing that she's having a hard time hitting the mountain, the peak of the mountain.
Finishing.
Her happy moment.
Finishing.
Her,
She has a hard time finishing. Why can't you just say finishing?
No, because I want to see how many times I can say different words to drive you crazy. She has a hard time finishing.
She has a hard time getting off.
What
is wrong with that?
It's just boring. And then so he slaps
you
the
sound
boob.
so uptight.
Finishing. So he slaps her boob. She loves it.
Oh yeah, they flip again, so he's on top of her.
No, she's still on top of him because he slaps it while she's on top of, because they're hanging.
He ends up smacking her boobs.
It's kind of like that one metal ball thing. You know what I'm talking about. The little metal ball things. Yeah. So her boobs are doing that up above. And then when they flip, they're obviously not because they... Yeah. How is he hitting boobs? When you lay down and you don't have a bra on, they just kind of...
She has a sports bra on. She didn't... They never took clothes off. What are you talking about?
No, but if they're like here, how are you going to smack that so it... There's... Not everybody has those big of boobs, Kelly.
Maybe she does. I don't know. Boobs are very smackable.
Anyway, so somehow.
And if she's got little boobs, they're still sitting right here on top.
But then it's like just, you would have to like honk and slap.
No, you can smack it on the side.
That's like rib cage.
No.
If you have small boobs.
Right on the top, just.
I guess you're right.
It's possible.
All right, we'll let him have it. So she grinds it. She gets herself off. He comes everywhere. So he's all drenched in his own stuff. He explodes on her. Has some built up.
He's been thinking about her for a while.
Yeah. So then when they finish, she gets off and she runs.
And she kind of like freaks out.
Yeah. And then he gets up and he's like, oh shit. And so 2 days later, they still haven't seen each other. And he finally goes and hunts her down because then she's not in her room, so he freaks out and he thinks she's gone overboard. So he finds her in like a corner somewhere and she's crying and he sits down by her and they have this crying moment between them. And he kind of tells her that he's been sleeping with Mark and that he's had other partners and that she shouldn't feel too bad.
And then she tells him that the marriage is a like arranged marriage. It's not like a love marriage.
And they can do whatever they want up to their wedding day.
Up to the wedding day. So you're saying, up until the wedding day,
we're good.
Is that okay with you? And she's like, yeah, it's okay. And then she knows that he has feelings for Mark. And then she's like, I don't love you. And he's like, you don't have to.
And then that's where Salt Kiss comes in.
Yeah.
Because he's kissing her and he can't tell if it's the water from the ocean or the water from her tears.
Yeah. And he's like,
smart lady.
Yeah. He's like, you don't have to. I'm just here for it. I just want to fuck everything.
Yeah, he pretty much does. He's like a horny teenager.
But I mean, he hasn't had any sex before.
That's true. Have it, and he's like, I'll go get a condom. And she's like, no, wait, because they find out that he has a breeding kink and she has a breeding kink.
And she has an IUD.
Yeah, and so she's safe. He's only been with Mark, who's been safe, so they should be okay. So instead of doing it right there in the hallway, they decide to go to the chapel. Which, earlier she mentioned that she actually wanted to grow up and be a nun, so I guess this is the perfect place to fuck somebody.
Yeah,
is in
dirty,
church.
dirty.
Yeah. So,
it's so hot.
It is hot. She compares him to Mark a couple of times, but that doesn't seem to faze him at all.
Nope.
It seems to help him.
Yeah.
And so he comes in her, and then she wants to come again, and then he sees all of his cum coming out of her, so he like scoops it back in, and then after he's seen him scoop it back in, he's ready for round 2.
He's like, oh yeah, let's go again.
Yep, so he's ready, pumps it out, 3, 2, 1, blast off!
3, 2, 1, contact is the reason, is the answer, that everything happens, contact. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was some contact.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of contact.
Yeah. It was fucking hot.
They did some stuff.
Yeah, they did all kinds of shit.
Oh, yeah.
All over that.
Yeah, and she helped him out because he's like, this is my first time fucking a woman. And she's like, that's okay. I've only had sex with Mark one time, so we're good. Yeah, so they do their thing. They end up getting back to land, parking the boat. They go back into the club. The head security guy comes up to them and is like, hey, guess what, dude? There's cameras all over the yacht. We all saw everything. And he's like, fuck.
And of course, like, that's totally done on purpose. Like, you're like, really, dude? Why would you sit there and watch everything?
Yeah. Yeah. So then he's like, fuck, Mark knows. So then Mark comes in, and the last words of the book are, come along, Tristan. There is much to discuss.
Dun, dun, dun.
Done. I don't know if I can go home and not read the second book. It was so good.
It's so good.
I loved it. Like all of like the secret stuff and like the FBI and the CIA and like it was such a cool book. She did such a good job.
That's really it was super awesome.
I want to read Priest too.
Oh, that series is so good.
I'm so excited.
So good.
So join us next week.
Yeah.
We'll have another exciting, fun book to share with you guys.
It'll be so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Always. We're always a blast. You know. What? You don't think so? You don't stand behind us, Penny?
Oh, I always stand behind you.
You're like, what?
Just clink. Clinker, clinker.
We're always fun.
We're always fun, guys. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I don't like your lack of enthusiasm.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I don't.
Fun, fun, fun.
I don't like her sarcasm.
Cheers.
We're always a great time.